right, man.
Okay.
Did the salmon do the trick?
Oh, let me comment on it. Yeah.
Okay.
And, by the way, thanks for writing in, Bond. It's always great to talk to you. The salmon, we had chocolate salmon. I had it again. I'm a big fan of the chocolate salmon that Debbie makes. Have they met Debbie?
No, she doesn't want to come on.
No, okay. She's busy behind the scenes over here, but she's an amazing. This man has a wife who's absolutely an amazing chef, makes amazing dishes, and she has a special dish called chocolate salmon, which might sound like a very weird mix, but it is the best salmon dish I've ever had. I love having it. Big Jason gets me to come meet him anywhere in the world when he,
Literally.
well, yeah, literally when he tells me that dish is being made. So I want to just say thank you, Debbie, for the chocolate salmon, for being behind the scenes here and doing everything you're doing, and thank you, Big Jason, for having me on here. This was fun. And
Sure, thanks for coming on.
yeah, and thank you, Bond, for the question and halbertology, which I'm looking forward to very much. And it's hard to contain myself and not tell you guys what's coming, but I'm going to do that because I swore allegiance to Bond in secrecy here. So, and I want to thank all of you for listening and being on the show and following Big Jason. It's very smart. Big Jason is a really smart guy when it comes to email. So follow him, hire him if you can, and buy his courses. And yeah, take care. I got to run. This was fun.
All right, man. Looking forward to getting started on the project.
Yeah. All right. Dude.
All right, man. All right. Have fun, whatever you're going to do tonight. All right, guys. Keep the questions firing. I'm going to put in my earbuds so I can hear Bond, so we can get Bond on here and answer some more questions live from Times Square, off Broadway email secrets. And we'll talk a little bit more about halbertology at emailresponsewarrior.com/Halbert Powers. Got a free video series going on right now. Some amazing content. People are walking around here saying, oh my goodness, there's a TV show being filmed right now with a famous TV star. I'm being recorded right now. Sammy's sticking around. Sammy, Bond says goodbye. He says goodbye, Bond. All right. Okay. Don't take advantage of any tourists who want your autograph and think you're some stud. Sammy's walking away with 4 young, college-age looking women that probably think, he's, I can't think of anybody. So, yeah, they think he's Ryan Seacrest. Yes. All right. So, again, I'm going to put on the earbuds. The little bunny's going to take off the webcam so she can come back because I keep firing away at the questions. Going to answer them all. All right, so while we wait for Bond to come on the show, I'm going to answer some more questions. All right. Here's a good question. So, how often do you recommend sending out emails to the list after the launch? And do you recommend selling something in every email that goes out, or do a mix of free content plus sales emails? All right, good question. You want to send out emails as often as needed. What are the expectations? If it's a new customer, you can send daily, every other day, 3 times a week. The big thing is you want to send frequently, okay? You don't want them to forget about you. You want to be on top of their mind. Could be daily, could be every other day, like I said. The big thing I see when people say, oh, I switched to daily and I'm making more money, they don't really talk about how often they were sending before. It was just that they weren't sending daily. So that's total BS. All right. You want to know the frequency before that. Now, if they're only sending twice a month, no duh. Obviously, you're going to make more money sending more frequently, okay? But it's not the fact that it's daily. It's the fact that it's more frequent, all right? That's a good backdrop. I like it. So I've sent out daily emails, multiple emails a day for over 6 months straight sometimes. And I made a ton of money not doing daily. And do I recommend selling something in every email? It's not that I do or I don't. You don't have to. People that says you need to put a link or a call to action, it's BS. All right. There's pre-launch content. There is open loops. There's just amazing, valuable, actionable content that you could be mailing. You don't have to have a call to action. Is it good to have a call to action? Sometimes, yes. But anybody that says every single time, no. Well, you want to train them to respond. Yeah, no, duh. That doesn't mean every single email. All right? You can still train them. It just doesn't have to be every email. A lot of things, especially in email, there's so many different factors. It's not black and white. So I don't have a formula for a mix of sales, content, all that good stuff. There's no reason why you can't offer amazing content and sell in the same email or straight selling. Check your email, Bond. It's right there. Admin link. Let me go to my email, and I'll tell you exactly what it says. Yep, it says confirmation you're a webinar admin. Just go to that link, click it, and you should be logged into Bond Halbert at, I won't say the email, but you know the email. The email that you gave me, you need to be logged into that account. Click it, and you'll be on. All right? I'll answer some more questions while you get that handled. I know you're kind of like Dan Kennedy, and you're a technophobe, and I think you just got a real phone like, was it 2 months ago? All right. Let me get back to Skype. All right, we got another question coming in. So, yeah, we're here in New York on a workation for till the 31st. Little Bunny, she's been cooking me and Sammy her famous gourmet Mexican chocolate salmon that her abuela from Mexico taught her and that she perfected. My brother-in-law's from Veracruz. Oh, Bond's coming on. Sweet. And he told me I needed to find a good Mexican woman, so I did. She's half German, but I don't hold that against her. Because she's a hot belly dancer who can cook gourmet. She's been going to Broadway dance studio this whole week. I've been paying for it, working hard. All right. Bond, I can't hear you. Let me check my setting. Oh, I heard you.
Okay, now can you see me?
I heard you now. I can't see you. I can see your picture. Oh, it's coming. Oh,
hold on.
You know about the gear icon, right? For settings?
No, but I'm seeing it now. Okay.
Tell it to find your webcam.
Found the webcam.
And click save. I mean, if it's not that big a deal, I believe we can hear you. In Skype, type if you can hear Bon. I'm pretty sure you can, but just to be sure, let us know. Be a little delay before we get your answer. Again, if you're just joining us live from Times Square, Big Jason, the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show. If you want to chat live, go to breakthroughemailmarketing.com/Skype. Typically, there's an online interface where you can chat, but due to my surroundings and being live in Times Square, it's kind of hard to check that and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, I'm going to give up on the camera part.
All right, no worries.
Okay, great.
So unless we hear otherwise that we can't hear you, let's just go with that they can. They'll probably be chiming in like 30 seconds or so. All right, man. So how you doing?
I'm doing really well, actually. Today's been nothing but a lot of great news. So I'm a very happy camper.
So what do you think of these live hangouts from Times Square?
I think they're great, to tell you the truth. I think, you know what? And I think there's a great marketing lesson in it about email marketing that kind of goes back to a lot of the questions people have been asking here, which is about the right way to do things. And let me tell you something. It's more important to sort of do it wrong. And here's what I mean by that.
Right.
You know, we are humans. We are very adaptable people. And when you talk about email marketing, direct mail marketing, you're really talking a lot more about relationship marketing than you are with newspaper and direct mail and so forth. So you can get a good direct mail list, and unless the people have moved on in their, they're in their life, you get a list of new mothers, and you mail them 5 years later, it's too late, right? They're no longer interested in hearing about baby formulas you want to sell them and stuff like that. But you get a list of people who have a certain interest. There's an amount of time that they'll eventually wane their interest in that. And right. I think but it's because people get used to things and people change. And one of the things that's very hard to do for people is to understand how to keep it fresh, when actually all they really have to do is sort of keep it real. And if you think about that, mixing it up is the answer to a lot of stuff. Like, how many times do you mail a list after a launch? Well, it's about how it's real and how it's annoying. If you're giving great content like you do on your webinars and then just mentioning, hey, and you can go get this here at the end of it. No, everybody's happy, right?
Sure.
My dad would give a great newsletter and then tell you about something that you could buy at the end. Obviously some newsletters were totally designed to sell you something. Right. But it's about mixing it up. It should be, you want to touch them on video. You want to kind of see them see a little real you in social media. You want to kind of let them see, different aspects, because as soon as you start to get into a pattern or a rut and people feel like they know what to expect, that's when they feel safe ignoring you. The thing is, we've always really enjoyed a great open rates and all of this other stuff, because with us, you never know what you're going to get. Right. And that was true about everything my dad wrote. It was, when he wrote the newsletter that's so widely popular, people were like, I opened it up. I have no idea what I was going to get. Was I going to get this personal story about him on his boats? Was I going to get, this master lesson in getting, copywriting, or was, it was so exciting. But here's the thing. It mimicked real life. Now, my dad went kicking and screaming into the internet world. He went kicking, really kicking and screaming. Me and Kevin had to sit down and argue with him that, no, the World Wide Web was going to change things. And, but as soon as he accepted that, it didn't make a difference what he did. And it's the same kind of thinking that Sammy and you and I possess, from following that model, which is it's the ability to step in somebody else's shoes and say, what would that turn me on and what would turn me off? And to tell you the truth, one of the great things that I'll do with copywriting, and I've edited a lot of great copywriter stuff and improved it massively, just by applying that, what we call the so what test. I go through it like an egotistical jerk that's totally into himself and has to go pee, right? And I say, I cut out anything that would make me go, so what, and walk away from it. But and so once you understand that, it applies to all these different mediums. It applies to these different messages and so forth. Because if you look at your real life, who are the people that I try and tell people, who are the people that you're most excited to see. They're people who've given you a lot of value and done good for you in your life. You don't really see them so much and so often that you've gotten tired of them, you know. And on top of that, they kind of come at you in a way that you're never exactly sure what to expect, but it's usually always a good time, right? And when you're building relationship marketing like that, the way to mimic that is not a, 3 content, 1 pitch. It's not, it's a mix up. It's a mix up of, what are you doing this month versus what are you doing this time? And there is no one rule. It's about kind of being real. And of course, testing and psychology, the things Sammy was talking about are all true too. But what I like about the off-Broadway thing is you think about it this, when you were talking about that, I was thinking, on Broadway, you know how much money it is to run those lights, right? It's a ton of money to run those lights.
Right.
And so you don't make Broadway just by walking on and say, let's try this on Broadway. They don't let you bomb on Broadway. What they do is they test you off Broadway, and then they bring you on Broadway. And all that testing, it's just like email marketing. As soon as you try and mimic the Lion King, you're going to fail. You're going to go back and you're going to get a bunch of guys in Muppet-style costumes and dancing around on the stage and coming up with a similar theme about the jungle. And everybody's going to say, I've been here and seen this. And if I was going to do it, why wouldn't I go watch The Lion King? Instead, what you're going to do is get a whole bunch of guys trying innovative stuff in the trenches, and then all of a sudden something's going to hit. And by the way, nobody ever knows what it is that's really going to be the blockbuster. I mean, you can sit down and make a path and go, this is going to make some good money, and I'm positive I'll make some income here. And so I'm not saying you're against security, but the real big blockbusters, they're almost always a surprise to everybody who was involved because, and that's true. The guys at Facebook didn't think they were creating Facebook when they did this.
Totally.
Even the guys at Google were like, well, maybe we'll try and take on Yahoo. But in any case, it's that cutting edge of people trying it and going out there and getting edgy with stuff and then testing and monitoring it. That is very, very critical because you have to know what works, not just because somebody said, hey, that's kind of cool. You have to know that I sent this out, these people bought, and that means they like it. And so I can kind of create this, and now I can start. Now I can put up the bulb lights, and we can do moving lights and pay for the Broadway stage, and give up, and make it all work. And kind of going back to what Sammy said, start off small, do it in those things, and whatever works, you kind of hone, refine, and go bigger with. And that's I think the off-Broadway concept is very cool. And by the way, I just love that interview with Venom. That was great.
Thanks. That was awesome. All right. Let's see here. So it's a good question. I'll go first. Where do you see email marketing heading in the next few years? I keep hearing about the decline in click-through rates and people going on email detox. Do you think we're at the peak of email marketing? No. I think it's still in its infancy. What you're describing are email marketers who suck, who their contacts don't love them. They don't love what they're sending them. And so it's not a big surprise to me. Yeah, the click-through rates are declining because, again, they suck. They're sending the same crap. They're buying into this really short, blind, scammy emails that trick people into clicking and with no regard to actually giving them what they want. Why are they on the list? What's going to help them meet their objectives? No, it's just about pretending you're some kind of psychological Jedi and tricking people into clicking, getting as many clicks as possible. Well, a lot of times it's going to backfire, especially when you see the gurus doing it who may have a much bigger list than the average user. Okay, so they could be burning their list, hundreds of unsubscribes every single day, but they're really good at list building, paid traffic, low cost, especially paid traffic. And so they're rebuilding their list constantly. Whereas you don't have a big list. You can't afford to keep on sending that crap and burning your list. So I don't buy it. I think if you stand up from the crowd, you're building really strong contacts. You're giving them what they want, sending relevant content, whether it's affiliate offers or your own offers or just amazing content. Whether you're a guru or not, you're going to stand up from the crowd. And again, not send the same BS crap that everybody else is doing. So you got to stand out. Briefly, what are your thoughts, Bond? Because I want to get into a little bit about this free video series you got.
Okay. I think I agree with you 100% that email marketing is not dead. What you're talking about is what we were talking about just a second ago, the adaptation of clickbait not really working.
Right.
There's a certain amount of, there you can only get something fresh and new for so long before it's old. And then, then after a while, the stuff that everybody gave up a long time ago becomes great. If you really want to look for a great source for good hooks and everything, look at campaigns that are 100 years ago that nobody's using right now. Take the Ice Arctic camp, that famous one to get explorers to the North Pole, and use that for recruiting people for a startup company, that kind of thing. But I think technologically what's going to happen with everybody's getting used to being touched at more places. Like right now, currently, you want your campaign set up so that people on your website can hop on your email. That's the way that people are voluntarily saying, hey, I want to hear more from you. So you would never shut that down, right?
Right.
And here are the benefits from it. It's safe. And as long as that email has a logical reason, it's giving you something else. Like, I love your stuff. I need to know when it's going to be updated. So, they want that email, and they're never going to turn that off. And you wouldn't want to shut that down because one of the things is it's psychologically nice. People say, hey, he'll send it to me when it's time. I'll always have it there in my inbox. And it's not like I called Jason and I got into a personal one-on-one communication with him. It's non-threatening. That's why free recorded messages used to work so well. You promised that you didn't have to speak to a human. But I think also in technology, pretty soon, I think it's not really right now. They're doing things to try and cut down on the bandwidth it's taking the providers. But I do think emails and some other, videos and emails and other stuff will start taking off. The same way when we started talking, me and you were among the first just by testing, because we're always throwing stuff against the wall to prove that pictures were not the death knell that they were when you first started. When you first started email marketing, people thought, oh, picture, there's something in there. That's a virus. Kill that thing. And then eventually we all adapted and we all became like, okay. And now, pictures, if they add to the explanation, if they add to the description that sets your marketing, your product, your service apart, if they can demonstrate it or add anything to it, it's priceless. So I think there's just like you're saying, no, email marketing is not going anywhere. People are getting, more immune to the clickbait type of tactics that are being used. And it's going to always be a good, nice way to communicate with people. And let me, look at it this way. In your own personal life, have you given up emailing people and started calling people more on the phone? No, nobody does. And even though we picked up text, social media, Skype, and all these other things, we're still using emails.
Yep. All right. Thanks for that feedback. So that was a good question. Any final questions for me or Bond? Fire away right now. Bond, why don't you tell everybody what they can find at emailresponsewarrior.com/Halbert Power. You got a free video series that you guys just launched. So what's it all about?
Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, but I can't tell too much. But I will try and give you.
Damn, he was saying something. He was sworn to secrecy.
Yes, he is. Actually, what we're doing is we're slowly building it. And the reason it's kind of still a secret is it's being constructed. And what happened was Kevin and I decided that we wanted to start setting out and we wanted to start building building a series that with information and everything that really highlighted Halbert style thinking in marketing. So we're starting off with a bunch of great content and everything that's really taking the modern, I wouldn't say a modern twist or a modern look, but you're getting it's like a fresh skin on what really is important in working. Because, if you look at my dad's writings and his work, they're affecting people who know, who learned of him long after he passed away. They're, right. The boron letters that I put out is, it's now more popular than even the first month we put it out. And the reason for that is the stuff really works because it's at a core human psychology level. It's the stuff like I was just mentioning, where understanding that, one of the safety parts about recorded messages or an email is that, hey, I want a little bit, but I don't want to commit to talking to a human being. When you understand the core concepts behind that, behind personalization, and you start adapting and tinkering the way that you do, like, adapting and tinkering with your emails. That's the one thing I love about your emails. And I open them because they're not all the same. I'm not expecting the same number of links. There's always to have a picture, always to not have a picture. Right. I'm not expecting anything about that, because I know that you're always tinkering. And that's why, me and you kind of gelled really quick when we first met. It was because all of a sudden, we're like, wait a minute, why are they saying this? Have you tested it and proven it? And me and you both have a habit of annoying people by calling out big shots. I upset people when I did it for David Ogilvy. They're like, this ad's super great. I'm like, are there any numbers to prove that? I'm just curious. I'm not saying it's not good copy. Right. Nobody could come up with numbers, and they're just like, oh, screw you. But anyway, so what we decided we wanted to do was put together something that really shows how to actually use this stuff still, not just in the same way that it was before, but in the more modern techniques and the more modern stuff. And so for right now, to kick this all off, what we decided to do was start sharing a lot of good content. But the reason it's still in its infancy and the reason it morphed and everything changed was we started to seek out a little help. And we what? I'm not the best at email marketing, so I want a little bit, how do we have that Halbert style into email marketing that actually makes it, that gives you that slight advantage over the other people who are doing email marketing, because you've recognized and can easily see the power of Halbert style thinking, right? And that you've adapted to your stuff. And I'm seeing it in all kinds of areas. So we're starting to get some help from some real big players that are going to help us demonstrate and show this. So it's going to honor our father. That's, first and foremost, but it's going to be of such massive value that I can't, I haven't seen anything like this. We put out the All-Star audio series, and we had all of a sudden we had, some really, really big names come out and, to help us do that. And the great part about this is we're getting that same quality and that same level. And we're now going to get into a lot more nitty gritty stuff. And I think if, right now, just go look over, go click on the link over at Email Response Warrior in the Halbert player thing and grab Halbert Power. I'm sorry. Grab that, just go over and grab that link. You can just, once you go over to the page, there will be like a quick thing to just toss in an email. It's not even your name or anything, but it opens right up and it gives you some emails and you'll love them. There's it's not pitching anything. And it's just, what we're, to kick off this program, we decided what we're going to do is make sure that we're starting off strong. And I think if you go take a look at that, you'll be very impressed. So far, almost everybody who's been there has really thought that was some great stuff.
Loved it.
Yeah, and there's some other great stuff that you don't want to miss before we, because if they might remove some videos to make room for others, but coming up, and I'll let you guys know in advance. This isn't released anywhere yet. They did a very comprehensive interview with Kevin and I in person, and where somebody was interviewing the two of us, and you're going to see a lot of value in that too as well. And I don't know how they cut it. I don't know how the team cut it. But I know that in that part, I started giving out actual, like real serious tips, on marketing. It wasn't just, here, let me tell you how great my dad was and not give you anything.
All right. So. Awesome. So guys, I just pasted the link in the Skype chat, emailresponsewarrior.com/Halbert Power. Halbert Power, HALBERT Power, Halbert Power. Check it out. Some amazing free content. Everything that Bon and Kevin put out by themselves and their dad is super valuable, actionable. No matter how much it's just like nugget after nugget. So definitely watch that. And again, it's extremely applicable to off-Broadway email thinking. So check it out. Bon, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And great show.
And,
that was truly a delight. Man,
I thought it would be fun.
Man, do I want to be there with you and Sammy.
Yeah, maybe you could come to Tel Aviv in a month.
Are you going there too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like less than a $200 round trip from Paris. We're going to go to Paris on June 1st for a month.
Oh, well, so it must be nice to be dinks. Dual income, no kids.
And I was like, Sammy, I've got a hot belly dancing bunny wife. Is Hamas or ISIS gonna, go after her? He's like, no, we're far away from that. I was like, Sammy, I'm 6'11". Am I gonna be alerting Hamas as some giant Jew and give him a big target? And they're like, no. We're far away from that. So he's at this luxury apartment complex by the beach. So I was like, yeah, I can come visit you.
Yes, I've known Sammy a very long time. We're good friends. He's only going to be somewhere that's nice.
Yeah,
he's all about enjoying life, and I am too. It's just that I'm more grounded because my kids are still in school. So once my kids hit those teenage years where they're sick of dad, I'm out of here.
Awesome. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys. emailresponsewarrior.com/Halbert Power. Check it out. If you want to check out more about me and my course, emailresponsewarrior.com. Big Jason, Breakthrough Email Marketing, live from Times Square. I will see you next time.